Hello and welcome to my practice map. Behind me you can see 7 game modes, but these two over here, they're currently a work in progress. However, the ones that do work are clutching practice, aim training, parkour practice, bridging practice, and chest looting. In this video I'm going to show you how each of the game modes work, and then set my best scores for all 5 of the skill sets. And I'm going to play this map every day for an entire month and see if I have improved. But that's enough yapping for me, so let's just get on to my favorite game mode to practice, which is aim training. Here you'll be taken into the settings room. So let's start over here, and I'm just going to select the small target size. Here I can choose to have a 30-second timer or infinite time. This setting lets me disable or enable the show next target. And these two settings let me choose where the targets spawn. So this is 360 mode and this is facing mode. Let's just leave it on 360 and I'll explain facing mode later. And same with delayed mode, I'll explain that later as well. So let's just start the game. So you'll be given an air gun, which is this hoe, and you have to click on the oxidized copper highlighted in green. And since it's 360 mode, the targets will spawn anywhere in this box. And yeah. You'll notice that this normal copper block, that's where the next target will be, because I have show next target enabled. So let's hit some targets real quick. And if I miss on purpose, it adds to my misses count. And yeah, so let's just finish the training session with this button here. And it gives me a stats breakdown of 10 targets in 28 seconds, which is 0.35 targets a sec. And I only misclicked 4 times. Okay, now let's talk about delayed mode. So it says here to turn off show next target location, so that's done, and facing mode to be on. So let's enable facing mode, and I'll make it spawn between the emerald and redstone. Now why not make it large targets as well? And of course we'll enable delayed mode. So as you can see, this training is very similar to the Valorant aim training. And the targets spawn between the emerald and the redstone blocks, because we have facing mode enabled. So we can also have show next target location and just delayed mode off. Start the game and we can just like do it like this. This is my favorite mode to practice on, just because it's the most fun, I'd say. And yeah. But that's it for aim training, so let's go back here and back to the hub. And let's move on to my second favorite game mode to practice, which is parkour. Welcome to parkour. As you can see here, there are a few more settings than in aim training, but I'm just going to skip all of them for now and just hit this generate parkour button, and you'll see that this parkour just got generated very quickly in like 2 seconds, and it is all 100% doable. Now these jumps are a bit tricky. There's like quite a few 4-block jumps, 3-block 1-ups, and yeah. I'll just skip to the end real quick and go down here, put myself in adventure mode, and it gives me my time. So now let's explain all these settings here. So everything in the red text, that's the jump distance. So that's pretty self-explanatory. This lever enables or disables the ability for the height to change. That's self-explanatory. This is the z-axis, 1 block, 2 block, and 3 block, so that allows it to generate from side to side. Skipping over these settings, we can look at all these, which is the possible jump types. So here we have the normal 1x1 block, which is this parkour over here, but we have nothing else enabled. So let's enable the hit hitter, the ceiling jump, the 1 block near, the 2 block near, and the ladder. And just hit generate parkour. And over here you can see a neo, a hit hitter with the block above the head, some normal jumps, 2 block neo, more hit hitters, normal hit hitter, another hit hitter, and there's a ladder jump, another ladder jump, another ladder jump, and a 2 block neo. Now let's say I really liked this parkour generation for one reason or another. I can hit all the way over here and save the parkour generation, and it takes me to this area where I can save up to 20 parkour generations. So I just want to save this one in slot number 1, it asks me in chat, I click to confirm, and it clones it and saves it. Now let's just clear the current parkour generation, and to prove you that it works, we'll load generation number 1 over here, bam, and you'll see it's the exact same as before. Now that's pretty cool, and let's head back and show you the last feature, which is to change the block type. So I can flick this lever, I can, let's say, make it chain, and boom. Hit generate parkour. Oops, I'm
family friendly.
You have to flip the lever back, and then you have to hit generate parkour. And you'll see it generates all chain parkour. I'd recommend turning off 4-block and 3-block jump though, because chain jumps aren't possible like that, and like this is a double neo chain. But hey, I give you all the freedom to do whatever you want on this map. Oh, I almost forgot. These 2 items at the bottom of my hotbar, they enable me to set my spawn point by right clicking, and I can clear my spawn point. So if I jump onto this block here, I can right click to set my spawn point, but I have to be onto the block. So once my crosshair is on the block, then it will enable me to set my spawn point. And then if I walk off, I will spawn here. And if I want to clear it, I can right click to clear it, and I will respawn back here. So that's all you need to know really, so let's go back to the hub and move on to my 3rd game mode, which will be chest looting. This is chest looting. So this chest over here, that's obviously where you'll be looting from, and these settings are what you can control to do whatever you want. Over here are settings for aim training, but inside a chest. However, I'm going to skip this for now and just go over the other settings real quick. This is the buried treasure chest looting, so just select that, press this button here, and then as soon as you open the chest, a timer down here that will start, and you have to loot the chest as fast as you can. And then you press the button again to end your time. So just do that once again. If I can even loot properly. Yeah, I'm not that good at looting, so obviously I need some practice with it. And then you press this button here though. That's what I needed to clarify. And in Bastion chest looting, that works the same way. You press the button because it's not loaded yet. This chest is kind of mid, but yeah. And you just press the button once you're done. Now moving on, this is a custom game mode I designed called cluttered chest looting. So when I press this button, it will tell me to take out an item. So it told me to take out the potato. So as soon as I open the chest, I have to take the potato out as fast as I can. So let's do another item, glow ink sac, top left, boom. Honey bottle. Ooh. Misclick there, but it doesn't penalize you for misclicking. Warped nylam. Stem, what does that look like? Was it that? Yeah. Turtle wig. Iron block. Oh, that was a good one. Dragon breath. But yeah, you get the point. Just fire charge. There. Now that's it for the basic settings. Over here we have chest accuracy practice. So we enable that. And I'm going to leave double chest disabled and show next target enabled. So this will be very familiar because it's just like aim training but in 2D. And yeah, you just have to click here. Now this training does end after 30 seconds automatically. So I'll skip to that. And there we go. After 30 seconds, it said in chat, I hit 85 targets in 30 seconds, which is 2.83 targets a second. So let's enable double chest. Oh, and by the way, don't use double chest on these settings over here because it just doesn't work properly. And if we press the button here, it's just like you expect. It's just target practice in the big chest. But that's it for aim training, so yeah, let's just go back to the hub and get on to my 4th favorite game mode to practice, which is bridge practice. Welcome to bridging practice. So here is the settings room. It's actually pretty simple. There's just a lot of options. And this is an island that you control, and that's what you have to bridge to. So let's start off by setting up some settings. So over here I can select the distance. So let's just set it to 10 blocks, and it goes all the way up to 50. Here we can select the height, which goes up to 35 blocks, but I'm just going to set it to 0. And these settings over here is the side to side offset. So this is 20 blocks to the left, and this is 20 blocks to the right, so they'll go 20 blocks that way. So let's just set that to 0 as well. This is randomize options, but we'll get into that later. So you step on this diamond here, and as soon as you place a block anywhere on the diamond blocks, the timer will start, and you have to bridge to the island as fast as possible. And then it says your time in the chat. And that's it really. I'll just go over the random distance real quick, but it's pretty self-explanatory. You just press this button and it goes close, medium is for far, it was like medium distance, and then far is very far. That's actually it. So it's very simple but very fun to practice if you want to get into bridging. And let's just get into the last game mode to practice, which is clutching practice. Let's just get straight into the settings, shall we? Because why not? So over here you can select the items that you want to clutch with. If you believe I'm missing anything, just let me know in the comments and I might add it. Or I might not. But we'll go ahead and make sure water bucket is selected, and we'll move on to the height. So here you can choose from as low as 20 blocks all the way up to 120 blocks. However, I'm just going to select 50. And I'm going to skip over these settings for now, and inform you that you can either choose flat or rough terrain. So let's just keep it on rough, and then you come here and press start. And then you just get given your item, and I land it because I'm Sigma. Now that would be pretty much it. You can just select any item here, and you just clutch with it. But I kind of made a clutching and hotkeying practice game mode into one with using these settings. So here, I can just select no delay for the item, but it goes into a random hotbar slot. And I'm just going to show you that. So as you can see, it went into the 7th slot, because we had this setting enabled. Now we can add delay to that though, so this will make it a little bit later. You have to react faster with the hotkey. Ooh. And I misclicked because I'm
family friendly.
And there we go. Not too much delay, just a bit of delay. But this one, huge delay, it adds a huge delay, and it puts it in a random hotbar slot. Like there, I didn't even press the right hotbar slot. Oh, there we go. Second try. Second try is pretty good. And that's it for clutching. So now let's go into what I promised at the start of the video, where I set the scores for each of the mini games, and then in a month's time, see if I have improved. So since we're here anyway, let's just start with clutching. So the settings I'll use is 40 blocks, 70 blocks, and 100 blocks. And I'll use the water bucket and the ladder. And also I'll be using the rough terrain and no delay for item, and it goes to random hotbar slot. So let's start the training. Now I don't want to bore you with just gameplay of me trying to clutch. So here I have an Excel sheet where you can see my results for clutching. So for 40 blocks, I landed the bucket 80% of the time and the ladder 60% of the time. By the way, I attempted each thing 10 times, so 8 out of 10 times I landed the bucket, and 6 out of 10 times I landed with the ladder. For 70 blocks, I landed with the bucket 50% of the time, and the ladder 40% of the time. But weirdly, for 100 blocks, I have no clue how I did this, but I landed with the ladder 90% of the time, and with the bucket only 40%. I don't know what happened, I just popped off. And I also lost the footage for it somehow because I accidentally deleted it, and I don't know, you just have to believe me. It's 90%. It won't be that good on day 2, trust me. So let's go back to the hub and go test my aim training. With aim training, I'll be using timed mode, and I get 30 seconds to hit as many targets as I can. And we'll have show next target location enabled, and we'll use just facing mode because I like it, and 360 mode is kind of random because sometimes the targets spawn behind you and yeah, I don't know, it's just not as consistent. For the size, I'll be testing small, medium and large targets all across 30 days every day. So now let's get into the stats for the aim training. Now there's not much to say about my aim training stats. Like you can see with the small targets, I had the least amount of targets per second of 1.93. Medium, I had 2.13, and for large, I had 2.46 targets per second. There isn't really a noticeable trend about the misses, but I hope to get them down as low as possible by the end of the month. But that's all I have to say for aim training, so now let's move on to parkour. Now parkour practice is going to work a little bit differently, as the settings are going to be kind of complicated, but basically I'm going to have an easy parkour generation, a medium parkour generation, and a hard parkour generation. And the parkour generations I have on day 1, for easy, medium and hard, I'm going to save them over here in these 3 slots. And then at the end of the month, I'm going to do those generations again and see if I've improved. However, from day 2 to 29, I will be just doing a random generation, but with the same settings. So it'll just be random parkour, but with the same jumps, just generated randomly, so I'm not doing the same parkour for every day of the month. I'm also allowing myself to set checkpoints, especially on hard mode, because I see myself being one jump away from the end of the parkour and then dying, and then having to do the parkour all over again. And it wouldn't really change much about the times overall. I reckon I'll still be able to notice a trend if I improve at parkour, despite being allowed checkpoints. There's not really much to say about parkour, because obviously the easy map, I have the shortest time, and for the hardest map, I have the longest time. So I guess I'll just talk about the settings real quick. So the hard map has everything enabled, but the head hitter with the block above the head. While the medium map has only 1 to 3 block jumps, allows the change in height, and has normal blocks, head hitters, and 1 block neos. While the easy map is the most easy of them all, it doesn't allow the height to change, the jumps are only 1 to 3 blocks long, and the jumps can generate 0 to 2 blocks to the side. Bridging was pretty similar to parkour, as the easier it is to get to the island, the shorter the time. Now just like parkour, I'm going to be using the same island position on day 1 and day 30 to see if I have improved my time, and on days 2 to 29, I'm going to be using the random distance generator for close, medium and far. However, the random distance generation is a bit inconsistent, but I'm still going to use it because it will keep my sanity intact and I won't be burnt out by this challenge in like 7 days. So that could mean that my times will be a bit inconsistent, but hopefully I'll still see an improvement from day 1 and day 30. Okay, for chest looting, I'm just going to be doing the treasure chest looting, cluttered chest looting, and chest accuracy practice. The reason I'm not testing bastion chest loot is because if you look at the loot, it's just mid sometimes. Like all you really want is maybe this and that, and sometimes like there's nothing except for like, yeah, it's just gonna generate inconsistent times, I think. So with that being said, let's start off with treasure chest looting and talk about the day 1 stats. So all the way on the right, you can see buried treasure chest looting, and I take the average of the best 3 out of the 5 attempts that I have. So on the first day, I averaged 6.25 seconds per chest. Cluttered chest looting is pretty simple, as I just take the average of all 5 attempts. So for the first day, I got 0.77 seconds on average per attempt. And lastly, for accuracy practice, I just did 1 attempt and just noted down my targets per second, and my misses. So hopefully as the month goes on, I get to 100 targets and 0 misses. Like that's my final goal, I'd say. But with that being said, that's all I have for this video. So I hope you enjoyed. It would be really cool if some speedrunners saw this map, like Rickrap, Feinberg, or Silver Runs. I want to see how good their scores will be, because I imagine they'll be like really sweaty. But hey, even if they don't find it, it would be cool if you downloaded this map, and of course feel free to comment your scores down below in the comment section. And yeah, I just hope you've enjoyed the video. But that's all for now, so goodbye and have a good one.